Hello everyone. This is your friend Naruto Fix, and we are back with another epic What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Tsunade became Naruto's mother after Kushina's betrayal? Part 1. If you love Naruto fanfics, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey with me. So, let's start the fanfic. The early morning light spread gently over Konoha, casting soft shadows across the training grounds. Naruto sat cross-legged on the edge of the balcony, his eyes closed, feeling the vibrations of his chakra mixing with the remnants of Kurama's energy inside him. Every breath was deliberate, every movement controlled. Tsunade stood behind him, silently observing, her heart swelling with both pride and concern. She knew that today was not just another training day, it was a moment of transformation for Naruto. "You're doing well, Naruto," she said softly, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "But remember, power is meaningless without control, and control without understanding is dangerous." Naruto opened his eyes, the red glow of Kurama flickering faintly around him. "I know, Mom, I can feel it, I can feel him now. He's still there, but I can listen. I can control him." A distant ripple of chakra suddenly reached them. Tsunade stiffened, sensing the faint but unmistakable pattern. "Naruto, stay back. This isn't ordinary," she warned, stepping slightly in front of him. Before they could react further, the shadow ninja appeared at the edge of the forest line, his presence sharp and cold. His eyes glinted with malice, and the air around him pulsed with chakra that resonated directly with Kurama's energy. "So, this is the famous Uzumaki boy," the ninja sneered. "The fox inside you, I can feel it. One misstep and he's mine." Naruto's instincts flared, Kurama growling deep within him, but he drew a slow, controlled breath. "I'm not letting him take control. Not now, not ever," he said firmly. Tsunade's eyes hardened. "Good. Focus, Naruto. We do this together." The shadow ninja launched forward, chakra blades slicing through the air at lightning speed. Naruto instinctively raised his arms, sending a wave of chakra forward, and Tsunade added her precise healing chakra to stabilize and amplify the defense. The combined energy formed a shimmering barrier, pushing back the ninja's assault. "Mom, I'm ready," Naruto shouted, stepping into the attack with controlled precision. His red eyes flared, but this time with balance, not rage. A surge of golden-pink energy enveloped him and Tsunade, forming a brilliant aura that radiated power and unity. The ninja staggered, disbelief flashing across his face. "Impossible, how can a child and one woman?" Quote. Naruto's voice thundered, "Kurama, calm down. Focus on me." The fox inside him roared, but the familiar warmth of Tsunade's guidance soothed the wild energy. Naruto channeled the power outward in a controlled strike, sending the ninja flying across the clearing. The impact caused trees to sway violently, but both Naruto and Tsunade remained standing, unscathed, their bond stronger than ever. Tsunade approached, her hand resting on his shoulder. "You did it, Naruto. You controlled it, and you did it with understanding, not anger. That's true strength." Naruto exhaled, a smile breaking across his face. "I did it, because of you, Mom. You taught me everything I needed." Quote. From a distance, Kushina and Minato watched silently. Their expressions were a mixture of pride, guilt, and sadness. They understood now that Naruto's heart belonged wholly to Tsunade, the woman who raised him, fought for him, and loved him unconditionally. "Perhaps this is how it should be," Kushina murmured, tears welling in her eyes. Minato nodded quietly. "He's safe, and he's strong. That's all that matters." That night, Naruto slept peacefully in Tsunade's arms, just as he had done countless times in his childhood. The soft glow of moonlight bathed them both, and the faint echo of Kurama's roar reminded them that the fox's power still lay within him, waiting for another challenge. But for now, in this quiet night, Naruto and Tsunade's bond was unshakable. A mother and her son, united by love, trust, and the trials they had overcome together. The first wave of danger had been quelled, the shadow ninja gone for now, but the world beyond Konoha's walls was still restless. Naruto's journey as the host of Kurama, the child of two worlds, and Tsunade's son had only just begun. And as the stars twinkled above, one thing was certain. Nothing, not even the fox within him, could break the bond between Naruto and the woman who had chosen to be his mother. Dizzy Part 1 End English version. Naruto has gained partial control over Kurama's power. Tsunade's role as a mother is fully established. The first threat, Shadow Ninja, is neutralized, but future suspense is set. Kushina and Minato's emotional presence is acknowledged, creating potential conflict for later. The next morning, Naruto woke earlier than usual, his senses still sharp from the previous night's battle. He walked barefoot across the training grounds, feeling the soft grass beneath his feet and the morning breeze ruffle his hair. The air was calm, but the memory of the Shadow Ninja lingered. Every instinct in him screamed alertness, yet his mind was clear. Tsunade emerged from the compound, carrying a few scrolls for chakra exercises. "Good morning, Naruto. I see you're up early again," she said, a faint smile on her lips. Naruto turned, a mischievous glint in his red-tinged eyes. "Morning, Mom. I couldn't sleep. Too many thoughts." Tsunade chuckled softly. "Thoughts are fine, but let's channel them into training. You need balance, not just raw power. Come." As they began, Naruto's chakra felt unusually heavy, as if Kurama was restless again. He closed his eyes, focusing on the fox's presence inside him. He could feel the pulsing strength, the wild rage, the impatience. But Tsunade's energy was like an anchor, steady, calm, warm. "Mom, he's louder today," Naruto whispered. Tsunade crouched beside him. "It's natural. Power like his doesn't sit quietly for long. But listen to me, he can't act without you allowing it. You are his master, Naruto. You guide him." Naruto took a deep breath, and slowly, the aura around him shifted. Red flares still sparked faintly, but they pulsed rhythmically with his own heartbeat. Tsunade nodded approvingly. "See, that's control, not suppression, not fighting him, guiding him." Naruto opened his eyes, and for the first time, Kurama's presence felt less like a threat and more like a partner. Uneasy, yes, but willing to follow. Just then, the village alarm system flashed in the distance. Naruto tensed. Another threat, or perhaps a training opportunity. Tsunade grabbed his shoulder firmly. "Don't jump before you look. We handle things carefully, Naruto. Observe first, act second." That's the lesson today. As they moved closer to the source of the alert, the village outskirts revealed small clusters of rogue ninjas attempting to infiltrate Konoha's perimeter. Unlike the Shadow Ninja, these attackers were uncoordinated but numerous. Naruto's eyes flared. "I can take them, Mom. I'll handle this." Tsunade shook her head, a small smile on her lips. "No, we handle this together. You've learned control, now learn teamwork. That's just as important." Naruto and Tsunade stepped forward, chakra flares glowing in unison. The air around them shimmered with energy, a mother and her son, perfectly in sync. As the first rogue ninja lunged, Naruto released a controlled blast of energy, knocking him off balance. Tsunade followed with precise chakra-enhanced strikes, neutralizing another. For a moment, it was chaos. Yet, in the midst of battle, Naruto realized something profound. He wasn't just fighting enemies. He was learning to trust, to synchronize, to fight as part of something larger than himself. And Tsunade wasn't just his teacher, she was the heart guiding every move. After several minutes, the rogue ninjas retreated, overwhelmed by the combined force. Naruto exhaled deeply, adrenaline still coursing through him. Tsunade placed a hand on his shoulder. "You see, Naruto, power alone isn't enough. Heart, strategy, trust, that's what makes a hero." Naruto nodded, absorbing every word. "I get it now, Mom. It's not just me against them. It's us, together." The village elders, who had been observing from a distance, nodded quietly. Even Hiruzen Hokage, normally stoic, allowed a rare smile to cross his face. Naruto's growth under Tsunade's guidance was visible, undeniable. As they walked back toward the compound, Naruto glanced at the horizon. The sun's rays lit up Konoha, but shadows lingered in the distance, hints of challenges yet to come. Kurama's faint growl reminded him that this partnership was only beginning, and the path ahead would demand more than raw power or training. It would demand heart, and Naruto was ready to give it, for Tsunade, for the mother who had chosen him, nurtured him, and loved him unconditionally. By midday, Naruto had moved to the main training field, sweat glistening on his forehead as he practiced controlled chakra release. Each movement was precise, a combination of taijutsu, chakra control, and healing techniques Tsunade had been insisting he master. "Mom, look, I'm keeping the chakra stable this time," Naruto said, releasing a flurry of energy orbs that hovered perfectly in the air, pulsing in rhythm. Tsunade observed closely, her arms crossed. "Better, Naruto. But control isn't just holding the chakra. It's anticipating how it flows, reacting before it overwhelms you." Naruto frowned, concentrating harder. The red glow from Kurama flickered in his eyes, showing the fox's agitation. "He's restless. I can feel him pushing." Tsunade walked closer, kneeling to be level with him. "Good. That restlessness is part of him testing you. Don't resist him. Guide him. Show him you're in charge, but that you respect him. That's the balance." Naruto closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and let the energy inside him pulse naturally. Slowly, the wild red flashes calmed, replaced by a steady golden pink glow. "You're learning faster than I thought," Tsunade said with a soft smile. "I'm proud of you, Naruto. Not just for your power, but for your heart." Just then, a faint disturbance rippled through the outskirts of the training field. Naruto opened his eyes, immediately sensing it. A minor group of rogue ninjas had entered the outskirts of Konoha, likely testing the village's defenses. "Mom, they're here," Naruto said, stepping into a battle stance. Tsunade shook her head slightly. "Naruto, don't rush. Observe first. Remember, power without strategy is wasted. We act together, not alone." Quote. The rogue ninjas surged forward, underestimating Naruto and Tsunade. Naruto unleashed a controlled blast, knocking the first attacker off his feet. Tsunade followed with precision strikes, neutralizing another with her medical-enhanced strength. Naruto felt a surge of confidence as the team of rogue ninjas hesitated. "I can do this. I can fight with Mom," he thought, sensing Kurama's presence guiding him subtly. The fox was no longer purely rage, now a controlled, focused energy. The small group of enemies retreated, overwhelmed by the combined power of Tsunade's expertise and Naruto's controlled Kurama energy. Naruto exhaled, the adrenaline slowly fading. "You see, Naruto," Tsunade said, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Fighting isn't about destroying your enemy. It's about understanding the fight, yourself, and your partner." Naruto smiled. "I get it now. It's us together. Not just me, not just Kurama." Later, as they returned to the compound, the village elders watched quietly. Even Hiruzen Hokage allowed a rare smile. Naruto was growing not just in strength, but in wisdom and control. That evening, Naruto and Tsunade sat on the balcony, watching the sun dip behind the horizon. Naruto leaned back against Tsunade, feeling the warmth and safety of her presence. "Mom, I think I'm starting to really understand what you mean by trust and control," Naruto said softly. Tsunade smiled, brushing his hair back. "It's a lifelong lesson, Naruto. But you're proving every day that you're capable of it. Kurama is powerful, but so are you. And together, nothing can stand against you." The night deepened, shadows stretching over Konoha. Kurama's faint roar echoed inside Naruto, a reminder of the immense power still inside him, waiting for the moment to challenge him again. But for now, Naruto felt prepared. Not just physically, but emotionally, ready to face whatever threats might come with Tsunade by his side. And for the first time, Naruto truly felt complete, not as an orphan searching for his place, but as Tsunade's son, the boy who carried Kurama's power and a mother's unwavering love. The sun rose over Konoha, spreading golden light over the village and casting long shadows across the training grove. Naruto was already awake, standing barefoot on the grass, feeling the soft earth beneath his feet, grounding himself. Kurama's presence stirred faintly inside him, restless yet tempered by the steady guidance of Tsunade. Today was not just another day of training, it was a test of his patience, control, and the bond he shared with the woman who had become his mother. Tsunade approached quietly, carrying a set of chakra-enhancing scrolls. Her eyes were soft, yet sharp, reflecting both concern and pride. "Good morning, Naruto," she said gently. "You're up early again." Naruto turned to her, red eyes glowing faintly with Kurama's energy. "Morning, Mom. I couldn't sleep, too many thoughts about last night." The shadow ninja, he felt different. Tsunade nodded. "They were strong, but their power was nothing compared to the bond you've built with Kurama and me. That bond is your true strength. But remember, control is more than just holding back energy. It's understanding it, listening to it, and guiding it." Naruto took a deep breath, focusing inward. The wild, red flashes of Kurama's chakra stirred, testing him as always. He felt the fox's impatience, its instinctual desire to lash out, but also its curiosity, its growing willingness to follow his lead. I understand him better now. I can feel him listening." Tsunade crouched beside him, her hand resting gently on his shoulder. "That's it, not suppression. Guiding him, understanding him, and respecting his power, this is the lesson of true control. You're learning faster than most shinobi 3 times your age." Naruto's lips curved into a small smile. "Thanks, Mom. I couldn't have done it without you." Before Tsunade could respond, a subtle shift in the air caught her attention. Naruto sensed it immediately, a distant chakra signature, faint yet familiar. "Mom, someone's approaching." Tsunade's eyes narrowed. "Stay calm. Observe first. Don't let them force your hand." From the edge of the forest, a group of rogue ninjas appeared, moving stealthily toward Konoha. Unlike the previous night's shadow ninja, this group was uncoordinated, reckless, and underestimating the village's defenses. Naruto's heart raced, but he felt no fear. He glanced at Tsunade, who gave a subtle nod, signaling him to act, but wisely, with patience. Naruto stepped forward, energy flowing naturally from him, Kurama's red chakra glowing faintly around him. "I'll take the lead, Mom. But I'll do it with control." Tsunade's hand rested on his shoulder. "Together. Always together." The rogue ninjas surged forward, and the clash began. Naruto released precise chakra blasts, knocking several off balance. Tsunade combined her enhanced strikes and medical chakra, neutralizing the others. The synergy between mother and son was undeniable. Naruto felt Kurama's presence flow through him, not as rage, but as focus. Every movement, every strike, every defense was perfectly aligned. For the first time, Naruto truly felt the weight of control, the harmony between his power and his mind. The rogue ninjas, overwhelmed by the combination of his precision and Tsunade's skill, retreated, realizing they were no match for the duo. After the skirmish, Naruto and Tsunade walked back toward the compound, both exhausted but invigorated. The elders, including Hiruzen Hokage, observed from a distance, quietly acknowledging the growth of the young Uzumaki. Even under Tsunade's guidance, Naruto's natural talent, combined with his newfound control, made him a figure of both hope and awe. As evening fell, Naruto and Tsunade stood on the balcony, the village bathed in the warm glow of sunset. Naruto leaned against Tsunade, feeling the security of her presence. "Mom, I think I'm starting to understand what you mean by trust and control. It's not just about fighting or winning, it's about understanding the fight, understanding Kurama, and understanding myself." Tsunade placed her hand on his head, smoothing back his hair. "Exactly, Naruto. Power without heart is meaningless. Heart without guidance is dangerous. You've found balance, and that is what makes you truly strong." The faint roar of Kurama echoed within Naruto, reminding him of the immense power still sleeping inside. But now, that power felt like an ally rather than a threat. He could sense the fox testing him, still impatient, still powerful, but willing to follow his lead when guided with respect and understanding. Over the next few days, Naruto's training intensified. Tsunade pushed him to his limits, combining rigorous physical drills with intricate chakra exercises and meditation. Each day, Naruto's connection with Kurama grew stronger, the red aura less wild, more harmonious. Tsunade watched carefully, occasionally correcting his form or guiding his chakra, always maintaining the delicate balance between strict teacher and loving mother. The village began to notice the change as well. Villagers whispered about the young Uzumaki boy who had grown stronger overnight, his bond with Tsunade making him almost untouchable. Even small skirmishes at the borders of Konoha were repelled effortlessly, the sight of Naruto with controlled Kurama energy inspiring awe and hope. One evening, Naruto sat in the training yard, staring at the glowing chakra patterns spiraling around his hands. Tsunade knelt beside him, her eyes softening. "Naruto, remember, strength is not just about defeating others. It's about protecting, healing, and standing firm when no one else can. That's what makes you a true shinobi." Naruto looked up, determination shining in his eyes. "I know, Mom, and I won't let anyone down. Not you, not Konoha, and not Kurama." Quote. Just as the words left his mouth, a subtle pulse of energy rippled from the outskirts of the village. It was faint, almost playful, but Naruto recognized it instantly. Kurama stirred, alert, as if sensing a distant challenge. Tsunade's eyes narrowed. "Naruto, stay close. I can sense something approaching, but it's not strong, yet. We need to be ready for anything." Naruto nodded, feeling the familiar surge of anticipation. Every fiber of his being was alert, yet calm. He had learned control, yes, but he also knew that challenges would come, as they always did. And when they did, he would face them as he had always done, with Tsunade by his side, with Kurama as his ally, and with a heart full of determination and love. The night deepened, shadows stretching across the village. Kurama's faint roar echoed once more, a reminder of the immense power within Naruto, yet the boy felt no fear. For the first time, he truly understood that his strength did not come solely from Kurama or from himself, it came from the bond he shared with Tsunade, the mother who had chosen him, nurtured him, and loved him unconditionally. And in that quiet, powerful moment, Naruto knew one undeniable truth. No force in the world could break the connection between him and the woman who had given him not just life, but love, guidance, and unwavering faith. The first stage of his journey had ended, but the path ahead, filled with trials, enemies, and growth, had only just begun. He looked up at the stars, red and gold auras intertwining, and whispered softly, "Thank you, Mom, for everything." Quote. Tsunade smiled, a tear escaping down her cheek as she whispered back, "Always, Naruto. Always." The village slept peacefully under the blanket of night, unaware of the trials yet to come. But within the compound, the bond between mother and son shone brighter than any threat, any enemy, or any power in the world. For Naruto, part 1 of his journey had ended. But the story of his strength, his heart, and his unbreakable bond with Tsunade had only just begun. The morning after the intense training, Naruto woke up earlier than usual, his body still feeling the fatigue from yesterday's drill. Yet, his mind was sharp, buzzing with a new understanding of himself and Kurama. He stepped out onto the balcony, the cool morning breeze brushing against his skin, and felt the rhythm of Konoha awakening below him. Birds chirped, and villagers moved about their daily routines, unaware of the immense growth happening inside the young Uzumaki. Tsunade appeared behind him, her presence grounding and familiar. "Up early again, Naruto. You've been pushing yourself harder than anyone else I've ever trained," she said with a mixture of pride and concern. "I couldn't sleep, Mom, I keep thinking about what happened yesterday. About the Shadow Ninja, and about Kurama," Naruto said, his red eyes flickering with faint energy. "He feels different now, like he's listening to me." Tsunade nodded thoughtfully. He is listening, Naruto. And more importantly, you're learning to listen back. That's control. You've always had the power inside you, but only now are you learning to guide it instead of letting it guide you. Quote, Naruto smiled faintly. I think I understand. It's not just about fighting. It's about balance. About being stronger without losing yourself. Tsunade placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Exactly. And that balance comes from trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your strength, and trust in those who care for you. That's what makes a shinobi truly powerful. After a brief meditation, Tsunade led Naruto to the training field. Today's exercises were intense, focusing on precision, chakra control, and harmonizing his energy with Kurama's. Naruto's aura flared as he moved, but this time, the red flashes of rage were tempered by golden-pink waves of calm energy. He felt Kurama's presence not as an adversary, but as an ally, tentative yet cooperative. Mom, he's calmer than yesterday. I can feel him responding to me, Naruto said as he guided several chakra orbs into a perfectly stable formation. Tsunade's eyes softened. Good. That's progress. But remember, control isn't permanent. Kurama will test you, especially under stress. Your growth is in learning to maintain it, no matter what happens around you. Quote, just as Naruto nodded, a ripple in the surrounding chakra caught his attention. Tsunade stiffened beside him, sensing the disturbance. Something's coming, she warned. It's faint, but deliberate. Stay alert, Naruto. Quote, from the forest edge, a group of small, nimble rogue ninjas appeared, testing Konoha's defenses. Unlike the shadow ninja from before, these attackers were uncoordinated, reckless, and not particularly strong, but their numbers and agility posed a challenge. I'll handle them, Mom, Naruto said, stepping forward, the red glow of Kurama mixing with his golden-pink aura. Tsunade shook her head slightly, her expression serious. Together, Naruto, we act as one. That's what I want you to remember today. As the rogue ninjas charged, Naruto released controlled bursts of energy, targeting only where necessary to neutralize their movements. Tsunade moved beside him, blending medical chakra into her strikes, her attacks precise and devastatingly effective. The synergy between them was remarkable, Naruto's raw power tempered by his mother's skill, her guidance turning chaos into order. During the skirmish, Naruto felt Kurama's energy fluctuate. The fox's instincts were still wild, still untamed at times, but under Naruto's control, the chaotic surges became focused. He realized for the first time that Kurama's strength wasn't just a weapon, it was a force to be understood, negotiated with, and integrated into his own consciousness. The rogue ninjas, overwhelmed by the combination of Tsunade's strategy and Naruto's controlled energy, began retreat. Naruto exhaled, letting his aura settle, feeling the satisfaction of both victory and understanding. Tsunade placed a hand on his shoulder, smiling. You did well, not just in the fight, but in how you controlled your power. That's the mark of a true shinobi. Naruto felt a warmth in his chest. I couldn't have done it without you, Mom. You've taught me everything I needed to know about strength, and about heart. Later, as they returned to the compound, villagers watched from a distance, whispers spreading about the boy with the powerful aura and the legendary Tsunade guiding him. Some elders, including Hiruzen Hokage, observed quietly, nodding in approval. Naruto was no longer just a young Uzumaki. They saw the emergence of a powerful, disciplined shinobi, tempered by both love and guidance. That evening, Naruto and Tsunade sat atop the balcony, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of gold and crimson. Naruto leaned against Tsunade, feeling her steady heartbeat through the bond they shared. Mom, I think I finally understand what it means to be strong, Naruto whispered. It's not just about fighting or winning. It's about protecting, about understanding power, and about knowing who you fight for. Quote, Tsunade smiled, her hand brushing his hair back. Yes, Naruto, strength is meaningless without heart. And you have more heart than anyone I've ever trained. As night fell, A faint echo of Kurama's roar reminded Naruto of the immense power still contained within him. But for the first time, that power felt like a true ally, not an uncontrollable force. He could sense Kurama testing him, yes, but also respecting him. Over the next few days, Naruto's training continued relentlessly. Tsunade pushed him physically and mentally, combining rigorous taijutsu drills with precise chakra exercises. Naruto learned to communicate with Kurama internally, understanding its moods, instincts, and desires. Each exercise brought them closer to a synchronized partnership, the fox's energy harmonizing with Naruto's intent. In the village, whispers grew about the young Uzumaki boy who had become a symbol of hope. Even minor skirmishes on the outskirts were effortlessly repelled, the sight of Naruto and Tsunade fighting together becoming an inspiration for every shinobi in Konoha. One late afternoon, Naruto sat in the training yard, eyes glowing as he practiced advanced chakra manipulation. Tsunade knelt beside him, observing. Remember, Naruto, true strength isn't just raw power. It's control, focus, and heart. Protecting those you care for, standing when others can't, that's the real measure of a shinobi. Quote, Naruto nodded, determination shining in his eyes. I understand now, Mom. I'll never let you down, and I'll never let Konoha down. A faint disturbance in the distance caught their attention. Kurama stirred, alerting Naruto. Mom, something's coming. Tsunade's eyes narrowed. Stay close. We may not know its full strength yet, but whatever it is, we'll face it together. As darkness fell, Naruto stood beside Tsunade, Kurama's controlled aura glowing around him. They were ready for any challenge, any threat, any enemy. And in that quiet moment, Naruto felt a certainty he had never known. His strength was not just his own. It came from the bond he shared with the woman who had chosen to be his mother, the woman who had loved him, guided him, and believed in I am without question. The village slept under the stars, peaceful for now, but Naruto and Tsunade knew this was only the beginning. For Naruto, part 1 of his journey had reached its emotional and training climax, but the story of his growth, his bond with Tsunade, and the challenges that awaited was far from over. He looked at Tsunade, red and gold energy intertwining around him, and whispered, "Thank you, Mom, for everything." Tsunade smiled, a single tear glinting in the moonlight. Always, Naruto, always. And under the quiet night sky, the bond between mother and son burned brighter than any threat, stronger than any power, unbreakable and eternal. The following morning, Naruto woke before the sun had fully risen. His body ached pleasantly from the previous day's training, muscles tight but energized. Kurama stirred faintly, restless, but instead of anger, there was a strange curiosity in the fox's chakra this time. Naruto stood on the balcony of Tsunade's compound, feeling the cool breeze ripple across his skin, grounding himself. Tsunade emerged from the doorway, a steaming cup of herbal tea in her hands. "You're up early again, Naruto. I suppose I should expect nothing less from someone who's carrying the power of a Biju." Naruto gave her a small grin, his red eyes flickering slightly. "Morning, Mom. I want to make sure I understand him better today. Kurama, I think he's listening." Tsunade placed the cup on a nearby ledge and approached him. "He is listening, Naruto. And you're listening back. That's the essence of control. Not domination, not suppression, balance. That's what makes a shinobi truly strong." Naruto closed his eyes and inhaled deeply, focusing on the fox's presence. Red flashes surged faintly, then calmed as golden pink energy began to harmonize with his own chakra. "I can feel him, he's cooperating more now. It's easier." "Good," Tsunade said softly, her hand resting on his shoulder. "The easier it feels, the more dangerous it is. Never underestimate the fox. Always respect it, even as you guide it." Quote. After a brief meditation, they moved to the training field. Today's exercises were not just about physical skill or chakra control, they were about harmony. Naruto practiced channeling Kurama's energy through complex taijutsu sequences, blending it with his own natural strength. Tsunade observed every movement, correcting minor errors, guiding his flow, and occasionally interjecting subtle techniques he had never noticed before. "You're improving rapidly," she said. "But remember, strength without patience is reckless. Let the fox guide you, but let your heart choose when and how." Naruto nodded, a spark of determination in his eyes. "I understand, Mom. I won't let him, or anyone, control me." As he moved through the sequences, a distant ripple of chakra caught his attention. Tsunade stiffened beside him. "Naruto, that signature. Someone is testing the village perimeter." From the forest's edge, a small squad of rogue ninjas emerged, moving with stealth but lacking coordination. Naruto's pulse quickened, not with fear, but anticipation. "Mom, I'll take them," he said, stepping forward, his aura flaring faintly as Kurama's presence stirred. Tsunade shook her head slightly. "Together. Always together." The rogue ninjas attacked, underestimating Naruto's skill and the combined force of the duo. Naruto released controlled chakra blasts, hitting precise points to neutralize opponents without unnecessary harm. Tsunade moved with surgical precision, blending chakra-enhanced strength with medical techniques to immobilize attackers. Naruto felt Kurama's energy surge in response. The fox was testing him again, pushing, trying to find weaknesses. But Naruto held steady, channeling the raw power into calm, controlled strikes. Each clash of energy reinforced the bond between them. Kurama's growl softened, curiosity replacing aggression, as if impressed by Naruto's control and strategy. After a short but intense skirmish, the rogue ninjas retreated, overwhelmed by the synchronized mother-son duo. Naruto exhaled, his aura settling, a smile breaking across his face. "We did it, Mom." Tsunade placed a hand on his shoulder, eyes gleaming with pride. "No, Naruto, you did it. You controlled the fox and yourself. That is real strength." Later, they returned to the compound. Villagers, who had been watching from a distance, whispered excitedly. The young Uzumaki boy was no longer just a name whispered with curiosity, he was a symbol of hope. Even Hiruzen Hokage observed quietly, allowing a rare smile to cross his face. Naruto's growth was undeniable, both in strength and wisdom. That evening, Naruto and Tsunade sat atop the balcony, watching the sky shift to twilight. Naruto leaned against Tsunade, feeling the warmth of her presence. "Mom, I think I finally understand. Being strong isn't just about fighting. It's about understanding your power, protecting others, and knowing who you fight for." Quote. Tsunade smiled, brushing back his hair. "Yes, Naruto. Heart, control, and guidance, that's the true measure of strength. And you have all three, in abundance." Kurama's faint roar echoed inside Naruto, reminding him of the immense power within. But now, the energy felt like an ally, a partner, not a threat. Naruto could sense the fox's growing respect, its willingness to follow his lead when treated with patience and understanding. Over the next several days, training continued relentlessly. Tsunade pushed Naruto further, combining taijutsu, chakra manipulation, and complex meditative exercises. Naruto learned to communicate with Kurama internally, understanding its moods, desires, and instincts. The once chaotic surges of red energy now harmonized with his own intent, forming a controlled, vibrant aura. The village began noticing. Whispers of the young Uzumaki boy with the legendary Tsunade as mentor spread quickly. Minor skirmishes on the outskirts of Konoha were effortlessly repelled, the sight of Naruto's controlled power inspiring hope and admiration among the villagers. One evening, as Naruto practiced advanced chakra control, Tsunade knelt beside him. "Remember, Naruto, strength is not just raw power. It's about heart, control, and the willingness to protect. A true shinobi stands when others cannot, and fights not for glory, but for what they love." Naruto nodded, determination glowing in his eyes. "I understand, Mom. I won't let you, Konoha, or Kurama down." A subtle disturbance reached them from the village outskirts. Kurama stirred, sensing it immediately. "Mom, something's coming," Naruto whispered. Tsunade's eyes narrowed, Stay close. We may not know what it is yet, but we'll face it together. As darkness fell, Naruto stood beside Tsunade, his aura glowing as red and gold energy intertwined. They were ready for any challenge, any threat, any enemy. Naruto's journey, Part 1, had reached a climax of emotional growth and power control, but the story of his bond with Tsunade, his mastery over Kurama, and the threats awaiting him had only begun. He looked at Tsunade, energy pulsating around him, and whispered, "Thank you, Mom, for everything." Tsunade smiled, a tear glinting in the moonlight. "Always, Naruto, always." And under the quiet night sky, the bond between mother and son burned brighter than any threat, stronger than any power, unbreakable and eternal. The morning sunlight filtered through the leaves of the training ground, painting patterns across the grass as Naruto stretched, feeling the burn of yesterday's rigorous exercises. His body was sore, but his mind was sharper than ever. Kurama's energy pulsed faintly within him, curious and alert, yet calm enough for Naruto to sense its rhythm. Tsunade appeared beside him, carrying scrolls and small vials of chakra enhancers. "Up early again, Naruto. I suppose I should expect nothing less from someone carrying a biju," she teased lightly, her eyes scanning him carefully. Naruto's red eyes flickered as he focused on the fox inside him. "Morning, Mom. I want to get better at understanding him. Kurama, he feels different today." "Good," Tsunade said softly. "He's learning to listen, and you're learning to guide. Control isn't suppression, Naruto. It's harmony. That's how you'll survive, and that's how you'll grow stronger than anyone expects." Naruto closed his eyes, feeling the wild energy inside him shift. The chaotic surges of red tamed slightly, replaced by a soft golden pink glow. "I can feel him, he's cooperating. Just a little, but enough to start trusting him more." Tsunade placed her hand firmly on his shoulder. "That's the first step. Now we work on stability, keeping the balance even under pressure. That's when true control begins." They moved to the training field, where Tsunade began pushing Naruto through a combination of chakra exercises and taijutsu sequences designed to test both his physical limits and his internal harmony with Kurama. Each movement Naruto made caused faint ripples of energy to radiate outward, controlled yet powerful, a clear sign of the growing synchronization between host and fox. "Good, Naruto. Keep your focus, but also remain aware of everything around you." "Awareness is control," Tsunade instructed. Naruto nodded, feeling Kurama's presence gently responding to him. I think I can anticipate him now. Not just control, but guide." As they continued, a faint ripple of chakra reached them from the edge of the village. Tsunade stiffened, immediately recognizing the subtle signature. "Naruto, someone's approaching. Observe carefully," she said, her eyes sharp. From the forest beyond the village, a small group of rogue ninjas emerged, moving quickly but recklessly. They underestimated both Naruto's skill and Tsunade's speed. "I'll handle them," Naruto said, stepping forward, energy flaring around him. Tsunade shook her head slightly. "Together, Naruto. You act as one, not separate. That's the lesson." The skirmish began. Naruto's controlled chakra blasts struck with precision, neutralizing rogue ninjas efficiently. Tsunade moved fluidly beside him, blending offensive strikes with chakra-enhanced support, her medical techniques preventing unnecessary harm. Kurama's presence surged as the fight progressed, testing Naruto repeatedly. The fox's instinctual desire to overpower was now tempered by Naruto's guidance, the chaotic energy becoming a disciplined, focused force. Naruto realized for the first time that Kurama was not just a source of power, it was a partner that required understanding, negotiation, and mutual respect. After several minutes, the rogue ninjas retreated, unable to withstand the coordinated efforts of Naruto and Tsunade. Naruto exhaled, letting his aura settle, a proud smile forming. "We did it, Mom." Tsunade rested her hand on his shoulder, her eyes gleaming. "No, Naruto, you did it. You've mastered your control over Kurama and yourself. That is true strength." The village slowly began to notice Naruto's growing prowess. Whispers circulated among the people. The young Uzumaki boy, once underestimated, now stood strong with Tsunade by his side. Even minor skirmishes at the village perimeter were thwarted effortlessly. The villagers watched, awestruck by the young boy's skill and the obvious bond with the legendary Sannin. Later that evening, Naruto and Tsunade sat atop the balcony, the sky painted in twilight hues. Naruto leaned against her, feeling the warmth of her presence and the steady rhythm of her heartbeat. "Mom, I finally get it. Being strong isn't about just fighting or winning. It's about protecting, understanding your power, and knowing why you fight," Naruto whispered. Tsunade smiled, brushing back his hair gently. "Exactly, Naruto. Strength without heart is meaningless. And you have heart in abundance." Kurama stirred faintly within Naruto, its energy a reminder of the immense power yet to be fully mastered. But now, the aura felt like an ally, not a threat. Naruto could sense the fox's growing respect, its willingness to follow his lead when treated with patience and understanding. The next several days were filled with relentless training. Tsunade pushed Naruto physically and mentally, incorporating complex taijutsu drills, advanced chakra control exercises, and meditation to synchronize with Kurama. Naruto's control over the fox strengthened with each passing day, the once chaotic red energy now forming harmonious patterns aligned with his intent. The village began to react positively. Whispers about Naruto and Tsunade's combined strength spread quickly. Even minor skirmishes at the borders were repelled effortlessly. Naruto's aura became a symbol of hope, while Tsunade's guidance highlighted the importance of mentorship, patience, and emotional bonds in shaping a true shinobi. One late afternoon, Naruto sat in the training yard, eyes glowing as he channeled advanced chakra techniques. Tsunade knelt beside him. "Naruto, remember, true strength isn't just raw power. It's focus, discipline, and heart. Protecting those you care for, standing when others cannot, that's the real measure of a shinobi." Naruto nodded. "I understand, Mom. I won't let you down, or Konoha, or Kurama." Quote. A subtle disturbance from the village outskirts drew their attention. Kurama stirred, alert. "Mom, something's coming," Naruto whispered. Tsunade's eyes narrowed. "Stay close. Whatever it is, we'll face it together." Quote. As night fell, Naruto and Tsunade stood together, energy pulsating around them, red and gold intermingling. They were ready for any challenge, any threat, any enemy. Part 1 of Naruto's journey had reached a pivotal stage: emotional growth, control over Kurama, and strengthened bonds, but the story of his development, his connection with Tsunade, and the threats lurking ahead had only just begun. Naruto looked at Tsunade, red and gold energy swirling around him, and whispered, "Thank you, Mom, for everything." Quote. Tsunade smiled, a tear catching the moonlight. "Always, Naruto, always." And under the quiet night sky, the bond between mother and son burned brighter than any threat, stronger than any power, unbreakable and eternal. The next morning, the first light of dawn crept over Konoha, illuminating the village in a soft gold glow. Naruto was already awake, sitting cross-legged on the balcony of Tsunade's compound, his hands resting on his knees, eyes closed. The quiet hum of the village below mingled with the faint, steady pulse of Kurama's energy inside him. The fox's presence was no longer chaotic, though it remained sharp and alert, waiting for its host to direct it. Tsunade stepped onto the balcony silently, carrying a small tray with herbal tea and a few scrolls for chakra refinement exercises. "Up early again," she said, a gentle smile tugging at her lips. "I should have expected nothing less. You and that fox of yours never rest, do you?" Naruto opened his eyes, red irises glowing faintly in the soft light. "Morning, Mom. I feel like we're getting closer today." Kurama, he's calmer, but curious. Almost like he's testing me again. Tsunade placed the tray down and crouched beside him. "That's good, and exactly what he should be doing. You've learned to guide him, but now he needs to understand that following you can be rewarding. Mutual respect, Naruto, that's the real key to control." Naruto nodded slowly, focusing on the rhythmic surge of the fox's chakra. Golden-pink energy started to blend with the usual red, forming smooth patterns that danced along his arms and legs. I can feel him listening more. It's easier to anticipate his moves now. Good. But don't get complacent, Tsunade warned. Control is temporary unless maintained. He will test you again. And the stronger he grows, the more he'll push. Quote. After a moment of meditation, they moved to the main training grounds. Today's exercises were designed to push Naruto's control to the limit. Tsunade combined taijutsu drills with advanced chakra manipulation techniques, forcing him to integrate Kurama's energy seamlessly with his own movements. Each strike and block caused a ripple of power to extend outward, controlled but immense. You're improving, Naruto, Tsunade said, observing him. But remember, it's not just about control. You must feel the flow of your own energy as well as his. Balance is everything. Too much push, and you lose harmony. Too much restraint, and you lose power. Find the middle. Naruto focused harder, feeling Kurama's presence surge and ebb like a tide. He matched it with his own energy, creating a synchronized rhythm. The chaotic surges that had once overwhelmed him now felt like a partner moving with him, testing, learning, and following. Suddenly, a faint ripple of chakra drew their attention from the outskirts of the village. Tsunade stiffened. Naruto, someone's here. But their energy is subtle, almost like a shadow. From the edge of the forest, a group of agile rogue ninjas emerged. Unlike the shadow ninja from before, these were numerous but inexperienced. Still, Naruto's pulse quickened, not with fear, but with anticipation. I'll handle them, Naruto said, stepping forward, aura flaring as Kurama's presence surged lightly. Not alone, Tsunade corrected. Together, Naruto, always together. The battle began. Naruto released controlled bursts of chakra, striking precise points to incapacitate the attackers without unnecessary harm. Tsunade moved beside him, blending her own chakra-enhanced strikes and medical techniques. The two moved in perfect synchronization, mother and son acting as a single, cohesive force. Kurama's energy fluctuated throughout the fight, testing Naruto at every turn. Yet Naruto's focus never wavered. He learned to anticipate the fox's instincts, channeling them, redirecting the raw energy into controlled attacks. Each clash of power reinforced their bond, turning once wild chaos into disciplined harmony. After a short but intense confrontation, the rogue ninjas were forced to retreat, outmatched by the combined power of Naruto and Tsunade. Naruto exhaled, his aura slowly settling. We did it, together. Tsunade rested a hand on his shoulder, pride evident in her eyes. No, Naruto, you did it. You controlled yourself and Kurama. That is the mark of true strength. As they walked back to the compound, whispers spread among villagers. Naruto was no longer just a curious child with immense power, he had become a symbol of hope. Even minor skirmishes were repelled effortlessly, and the sight of the Uzumaki boy fighting with the legendary Tsunade inspired both awe and reassurance. That evening, Naruto and Tsunade sat on the balcony overlooking the village. Twilight painted the sky in hues of orange and purple. Naruto leaned against her, feeling warmth and safety in her presence. Mom, I finally get it, Naruto said softly. Being strong isn't just about fighting. It's about understanding your power, protecting others, and knowing why you fight. Yes, Tsunade replied, her voice gentle but firm. Heart, control, guidance, that's the true measure of strength. And you, Naruto, have all three in abundance. Kurama stirred inside Naruto, a reminder of the immense, untapped power that still lay within him. Yet the energy felt less threatening now, more like an ally awaiting direction. Naruto sensed the fox's growing respect, its willingness to cooperate when treated with patience and understanding. The following days were relentless. Tsunade pushed Naruto to his limits, combining taijutsu, advanced chakra manipulation, and meditation to further synchronize him with Kurama. The once chaotic red energy now flowed harmoniously, aligned with Naruto's intentions. The village began to notice the changes. Whispers of the boys' controlled power and Tsunade's guidance spread. Even minor skirmishes at the borders of Konoha were effortlessly repelled. Naruto's aura had become a symbol of hope, a testament to both power and the guidance of a mother who had chosen I am. One late afternoon, as Naruto practiced an intricate chakra control technique, Tsunade knelt beside him. Naruto, remember, true strength is not raw power alone. It is focus, discipline, and heart. Protecting those you care for, standing when others cannot, that is the measure of a true shinobi. Naruto's eyes shone with determination. I understand, Mom. I won't let you, Konoha, or Kurama down. A subtle disturbance at the village outskirts caught their attention. Kurama stirred immediately, sensing it. Mom, something's coming, Naruto whispered. Tsunade's eyes narrowed. Stay close. We may not know what it is yet, but we'll face it together. Quote, as night fell, Naruto and Tsunade stood together, red and gold energy intertwining around Naruto. Part 1 of his journey had reached a pivotal stage. He had gained control, developed emotional depth, strengthened bonds, and tested his power. But the story of his growth, the challenges awaiting him, and his unbreakable bond with Tsunade had only begun. He looked at her, aura glowing brightly, and whispered, "Thank you, Mom, for everything." Tsunade smiled, a tear catching the moonlight. Always, Naruto, always. And under the quiet night sky, the bond between mother and son burned brighter than any threat, stronger than any power, unbreakable and eternal. The sun had barely risen over Konoha, and the village was still wrapped in a soft morning haze. Naruto stood in the training yard, the cool morning air brushing against his skin. The faint hum of Kurama's chakra within him pulsed rhythmically, a constant reminder of the immense power he now wielded. And the delicate balance he must maintain. Tsunade appeared beside him, her expression calm but determined. Another early start, Naruto. You're really pushing yourself lately, she said, carrying a set of scrolls detailing advanced chakra exercises. I want to get stronger, Mom, Naruto replied, his red eyes glowing faintly. Not just for me, but so Kurama trusts me completely, and so I can protect everyone in Konoha. Tsunade smiled faintly. Good. But remember, strength isn't just raw power. It's control, focus, and heart. You're improving, but there's still much to learn. Today, we'll focus on channeling Kurama's chakra through your movements, not just your attacks. Quote, Naruto closed his eyes, concentrating. The red energy of Kurama's chakra surged briefly, then calmed into a steady golden-pink rhythm, flowing with his own energy. I can feel him, he's responding to me, he murmured. Exactly. That's the first step toward harmony, Tsunade said. Control isn't about forcing the fox to obey. It's about working with him, understanding his instincts, and guiding them without conflict. For hours, they trained together. Naruto moved through complex sequences, blending taijutsu with precise chakra manipulation. Each movement sent controlled energy rippling across the yard. Tsunade watched closely, occasionally adjusting his stance or guiding his chakra flow, ensuring that every motion remained fluid and efficient. You're improving faster than I expected, she said. But remember, control can be fragile. Under stress, the fox will test you. You need to anticipate that, and respond without losing yourself. Quote, as Naruto nodded, a subtle ripple of energy caught their attention from the village outskirts. Tsunade's eyes narrowed. Naruto, someone is approaching. Keep calm and observe. A group of rogue ninjas emerged from the trees. They moved quickly, trying to test Konoha's defenses, but they underestimated both Naruto's skill and Tsunade's presence. I'll take the lead, Mom, Naruto said, stepping forward as Kurama's aura flared around him. Not alone, Tsunade corrected, moving beside him. Together. That's the lesson you must never forget. The battle began. Naruto unleashed controlled chakra blasts, striking precise points to incapacitate opponents without unnecessary harm. Tsunade moved beside him, blending her chakra-enhanced strikes with medical techniques. Their movements were perfectly synchronized, mother and son acting as a single cohesive force. Kurama's energy fluctuated as the fight progressed, testing Naruto's control. The fox's instinctual urge to dominate still existed, but Naruto had learned to channel it into precise, purposeful strikes. The chaotic red energy now worked with him, harmonizing with his intent and reinforcing their bond. After several minutes, the rogue ninjas retreated, overwhelmed by the combined power of Naruto and Tsunade. Naruto exhaled, letting his aura settle, a proud smile forming. "We did it, together." Tsunade rested a hand on his shoulder. "No, Naruto, you did it. You controlled yourself and Kurama. That is real strength." Back at the compound, villagers whispered about the boy who had become a symbol of hope. Naruto's power, now controlled and guided by Tsunade, was not a threat, it was a beacon. Even minor skirmishes at the village borders were repelled effortlessly, solidifying the Uzumaki boy's reputation as a rising force in Konoha. That evening, Naruto and Tsunade sat on the balcony, overlooking the village bathed in twilight hues. Naruto leaned against her, feeling the warmth and security of her presence. "Mom, I think I finally understand," Naruto said softly. "Being strong isn't just about fighting. It's about protecting, understanding your power, and knowing why you fight." Quote, "Yes," Tsunade replied, brushing back his hair. "Heart, control, and guidance. You have all three, Naruto. And that is why you will become extraordinary." Kurama stirred faintly, its energy a reminder of the immense power still sleeping inside Naruto. But now, the fox's presence felt like a true ally, a partner awaiting guidance rather than a threat. Naruto sensed the fox's growing respect, its willingness to cooperate when treated with patience and understanding. Over the following days, training intensified. Tsunade pushed Naruto to the limits, combining taijutsu, chakra control, and meditation to strengthen their synchronization. The chaotic surges of Kurama's red energy now flowed harmoniously, aligned with Naruto's intentions. The village began to notice the changes. Naruto's aura, a blend of red and gold energy, became a symbol of hope. Even minor skirmishes at the borders were repelled easily, the sight of Naruto fighting alongside Tsunade inspiring awe and reassurance among the villagers. One evening, Naruto practiced a complex chakra manipulation technique while Tsunade knelt beside him. "Naruto, remember, strength is not just raw power. It's focus, discipline, and heart. Protecting those you care for and standing when others cannot, that is the true measure of a shinobi." Quote, Naruto's eyes glowed with determination. "I understand, Mom. I won't let you, Konoha, or Kurama down." A subtle ripple of chakra at the village's outskirts caught their attention. Kurama stirred, alert. "Mom, something's coming," Naruto whispered. Tsunade's eyes narrowed. "Stay close. Whatever it is, we'll face it together." As night fell, Naruto stood beside Tsunade, red and gold energy swirling around him. Part 1 of his journey had reached a critical stage: emotional growth, mastery over Kurama, and strengthened bonds. But the story of his growth, challenges ahead, and unbreakable connection with Tsunade had only begun. Naruto looked at her, aura glowing brightly, and whispered, "Thank you, Mom, for everything." Tsunade smiled, a tear glinting in the moonlight. "Always, Naruto, always." And under the quiet night sky, the bond between mother and son burned brighter than any threat, stronger than any power, unbreak. Able and eternal. The night in Konoha was quiet, the village bathed in a gentle silver glow under the full moon. Naruto stood on the balcony of Tsunade's compound, feeling the calm energy of Kurama flowing steadily within him. For the first time, he didn't feel like a boy burdened by the Nine Tails' power. He felt like its master, its partner, and its friend. Tsunade stepped beside him, her presence reassuring and warm. "Naruto, you've come a long way," she said softly. "The strength you've gained isn't just physical. It's control, heart, and understanding. You've grown into the kind of shinobi who can protect others, who can face any challenge without losing yourself." Quote, Naruto looked at her, his red eyes glowing faintly, reflecting both determination and gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you, Mom. You've taught me what it means to be strong, and what it means to care. Kurama and we understand each other now. I feel ready for anything. Tsunade smiled, a single tear glinting in the moonlight. That's my boy. Remember, strength without heart is meaningless. And you have heart in abundance. Quote. From within, Kurama stirred softly, a low, approving growl echoing in Naruto's mind. He had accepted Naruto not as a host to be dominated but as a partner to be respected. The bond they shared was now unshakable. As they both gazed at the sleeping village, Naruto realized that the challenges ahead would only grow stronger. But for the first time, he felt confident. With Tsunade as his mother, mentor, and guide, and with Kurama as his ally, he knew he could face anything that came his way. He turned to Tsunade and whispered, "Thank you, Mom, for everything." Tsunade rested her hand gently on his shoulder. "Always, Naruto, always. And no matter what happens, remember this, your strength comes not from Kurama alone, nor from the battles you fight, but from your heart. That heart will always guide you." Naruto nodded, the weight of responsibility balanced by the warmth of love and trust. The journey ahead was uncertain, full of dangers and trials, but he was ready. Together with his mother and the fox within him, he would rise stronger than ever. The moon shone down on Konoha, its silver light reflecting on the duo, mother and son, a bond forged not by blood alone but by trust, guidance, and unconditional love. The story of Naruto Uzumaki had reached the conclusion of this chapter, Part 1, but the path ahead promised even greater challenges, victories, and the forging of a legend. For now, peace reigned, and in that quiet moment, Naruto finally felt whole. If you enjoy this fanfic then please like and subscribe my channel NarutoFix11 for more fanfic. Thank you.